You, so I can review our past.
What's been going on since last time?
Was it been like 18 months or something?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yep.
18 months?
Last time was December 2024.
December of 24. We're December of 25.
That's 12.
And then another
13, 14, 15.
15. Okay. Well, since then, I don't know. I filled out the paperwork. Well, I guess since then, a lot's have changed. I don't remember exactly what we went over. I go to Mass 6 days a week. I try and work out 3 days a week. I'm working on my nutrition. I'm smoking cigarettes again. No alcohol in the house. Gave up social media for Lent, and man, you really realize how it affects your life. Or tuned up, and then your dopamine hits, off that stuff. So, but yeah, I've been going to church 5-6 days a week since mid-September.
Why's that?
Answering the call. St. Francis calling me. So I'm here.
How's your sleep been doing?
Good. I don't like that the child, baby Thomas, is still in his room because I like to take the decompression off of my back because I'm usually sore from the gym thing, so I'll try to use the recliner, but that doesn't work any well. So then I tend to stand and smoke more cigarettes, I think, and I need to get that under control. I think I need a space where I can decompress. Our house is filling up, Dr. Henderson. We have, three little boys and Todd. 3 little boys and a big boy. I'm a baseball coach, too. Did baseball practice last night.
How'd that go?
Doing too much, and the business is failing. It went great. Baseball practice was great. Line them up, blow the whistles. We're teaching kids how to play baseball. We're putting the fun back in fundamentals.
How about work?
Terrible. Both jobs.
What's been going on there?
Numbers tank. Building market is down. My wife and her parents, I had worked up all this stuff where I built all this trust and healthy relationships with these demo guys that sell lumber and brick. And then, I was starting to sell their stuff, and they wouldn't let me because it takes away from their business, and I don't cut them in, I guess. I'm just my wife's assistant when it comes to brick sales, and she's my assistant when it comes to freight, But she's obviously overwhelmed with the deal, with everything. But I think mostly it's the fear of her, and what's really caused us a lot of problems is the company her mom started shutting down, and her mom and her sisters fighting over her grandfather's company, and they had another meeting, and it's finally going to end, but. Her mom's pretty close to going out of business. So we'll probably lose that job and go to freight unless some miracles happen. And, that's possible. But it's nothing I have any control over. So we are just, holding on to our gospel plow, if you will. And we keep turning the field. There's plenty other stuff I can talk about, but those are the bangers.
And any issues with anxiety lately?
You mean, yeah, I'm regulating okay. No, it's got a lot better ever since I started going to church because I guess you could say I'm not as scared anymore. Or I figured, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it, but I would say that the church is an anchor. I got the call for altar service, so I trained for altar service on Tuesdays. I've met a lot of priests in the diocese, probably like 9 in the Eastern Oklahoma diocese. Father Brian Brooks today, usually Father Archie on Mondays, and then Father Juan over at St. Clement. Father June, the vocations director. It's just it's pretty cool. So St. Clement is has a large Hispanic population there. The church is too small; they're outgrowing it. Went to the Knights of Columbus meeting. Scarlett's will become confirmed Catholic on Easter. You hearing me?
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Boy, your superiors would be glad to hear all this, right? Then you got a white coat.
Mm-hmm.
You're a white coat.
Yeah, I am.
But you wear but you wear your black coat outside. That's kind of like priestly, right? That's like the alb. But the priests wear black or blue underneath, and then they'll wear their white, and then they'll wear their vestment on top.
That's just the black coat's just my it's just a sweater for when it gets cold.
It's still black.
It is.
But yeah, oh, and then this stuff, like I guess December 18th, there was something lined up. Maybe you would know more about it than me. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. But December 18th, I think Jupiter or Saturn was close by Sun or something. But I think the planets lined up just the other day, or they're getting ready to line up real soon, and then they're really getting ready to line up, like on Easter, isn't it? Aren't the planets all lining up for Easter? To like hit the Sphinx or something in Egypt or something?
February 28th, there was one Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune.
Okay, tell me December 18th, because that's the one I couldn't figure out. Yeah, February 28th, yeah, there was some things lined up. December 18th. I looked it up, and I just couldn't figure it out. It's on or about that day. The cat's paw. And I even asked for help, and somebody explained it to me, and they wouldn't do it. It was like some doctor on the East Coast.
Have you been, are you taking any medications?
No. What did it say for December 18th? Anything?
No. There was August 17th, 18th, and 19th. There was 6 planet alignment in the morning.
Well, I'm still searching for answers on the December 18th thing. But, yeah. I don't spend much time. But, I mean, I'm just noticing we had those calendar months. So, yeah, you talk about, you know, Gregorian, Julian calendars and astrology and transitions that are happening in the world. I think those are causing a little anxiety. You know, like your political stuff, like, you know, the United States of America and what's going on politically and geopolitically and financially. I think those things are going to cause stress in the average human being and be a little bit, you know, cause a little anxiety and be a little overwhelming on top of the economic factors that are going to come, you know, down from that or what we're already currently dealing with, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a hockey fan, huh? The Olympics are going on. Is that a crest? A family crest? Is that a crest? What kind of crest is that?
I believe so. I think that's our families.
Yeah, and then see, I was nervous and anxious about coming in here, but you got doctors that that's the serpents in the pool. It's cool. But you know, this is one of the better things. My wife was getting really mad at me because I wouldn't tell her that I didn't want her to come, but I didn't want her to come. You know what I mean? And I didn't like the fact that she was in my last doctor appointments, running everything by force. You know what I mean? By force and doing all the talking. Is that Black Horse Cavalry? That's Black Horse Cavalry.
Yeah.
What is that?
That was a summit where one of my patients who's in the military gave it to me. It's from the
King of
it's a
Spades.
Special. It's a deck from Apocalypse Now, the movie.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, there's a guy at church that says Black Horse Cavalry. The real one. King of Spades.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a spade? No, that was a club.
That was a club.
King of Clubs.
Any issues with like feeling down or depressed lately?
No, but I do have issues with my wife and her mother or whatever, wanting to think I have some kind of They want to diagnose me and they want me to take pills, and that's just it's crazy talk when they're the ones that are having problems. So just stay out of my medical business and let me have a relationship with my medical provider and trust me to handle it myself. You know what I mean? Because I gave them too much, trust, and then they start to, control. And there's things that happen that they don't like, and women don't like conflict and stuff, and guys are playing games in business that women won't catch up on. It's got to be hard being a woman running a business in a men-dominated field. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But there's got to be structure and leadership, man. And I'm not seeing a lot of structure and leadership and family nucleus and things in Scarlett's family, and I'm learning more about her past now that we're doing like examination of conscience for her first confession, and she's slowly, I think, doing an autobiography on herself because she is coming to the light, right? And then she's been going to class every Saturday. I've been watching the kids. She always complains I don't do enough. But we do alright, and Todd helps out quite a bit. And I do provide, and I supervise the parenting. So and then I think she gets upset or spiteful because my parenting skills are good and stuff that she hadn't been taught, and I have like more training and more knowledge, So when she sees me use that, I think it kind of makes her mad, and she feels stupid. And then we get into some value stuff. She tends to say, and then with my going to church, because she stays and watches it, but she wouldn't go to church every day. She could, but she is allowing me the opportunity to go, to mass every day because it's close to the office there. Mondays I'll go to St. Benedict, and we go together on Sunday. But so, in my opinion, things are good. We have a marriage counselor on standby, that we need, that we tried to go, we go to for marriage stuff. I'd like to find something different, but if we need a mediator for anything marital, like that's in place, you know what I mean? We're already on the books, we can just set an appointment. Or I think we can use the priest for that. But anyway, and what else can I tell you to help me? I'm excited. And I'm happy. I got an email today that my medical card is expiring. And, I would like to keep a medical card. That's just me. Do I want to quit smoking? Yeah. But, I'm not. And then fasting has been a big challenge. Like, this is my first time fully participating in the liturgical. I guess I've done it in the past, but you know what I mean. It's like, come mid-September, I'll have been going to Mass about 5 days a week for a year, and then I don't feel like I can stop going. I feel like if I stop going, I won't be nearly as strong, you know what I mean, spiritually, so I've improved exponentially in spiritual strength, obviously, by going to church, right? And then physically, in the same amount of time, I'm doing personal training with Jonathan at Push Performance in Bigsby, and I'm getting that in 3 days a week, and it's been whooping me. But man, I go to physical therapy because legs are a little bent. I'm tweaking some things, dialing myself in, sitting at a pretty good weight. I could lose 15, 20 more pounds, but I'm getting stronger. I can rap out. I can do 15 push-ups, where when we first started, I could hardly walk. My degrees of rotation, my medical records for arch physical therapy are showing huge improvements,
Yeah, do you think something for anxiety medication-wise might be a good idea? If the anxiety's been getting been elevated lately?
But it hasn't, out of normal. It hasn't out of a normal range. What, uh, what do you provide? And then couldn't you use marijuana for something like that? I've been using cigarettes.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It tends to make anxiety worse in the long run.
Right. Small doses. Okay, so, like, what are you offering? If you have something that's not an SSRI or a benzo, I may be open to having a bottle in my nightstand, like the hydroxyzine. And then, but I haven't had I have those in my nightstand now, and I haven't had to take any. And I haven't had anything happen that disrupts my way of life yet, other than when the wife's not happy. Of something, whatever she's mad about, that, I'm sorry you feel that way is not good enough, but I disagree. That's not good enough answer. You need to, change your way of thinking.
Do you feel like you need medication?
Absolutely not. I don't see any indicators in anything I've told you or what I put down there. I think I'm doing the right things naturally, am I not? If I'm watching the intake, going to church 5-6 days a week, working out 3 days a week. Now, without those things, absolutely, I would chug down your pill bottle. But since I'm doing these things naturally, am I not? Don't these things do what these medications do for your brain? The working out, the going to church. Aren't I getting the same results without a med?
It can help, but it usually doesn't produce the same level of results.
Right. I noticed with the fast from social media that probably my dopamine side would be the best to work. I don't want to mess with that serotonin side, but I'm not the professional. And I don't want an SSRI, and I won't take a benzo, and I won't take any lithium. And I don't think that I'm bipolar. I think I had some ups and downs and what have you, and some things were brought on by some misguided recreational or medical marijuana use. But, if you look at the situation that the human is in, the human is acting like a normal human that would react in that situation. Are we taking pills to prevent these things, or are we going to use the coping skills of, my goal is to run a mile without stopping. My goal is to become a deacon, possibly. We'll see where that goes. My goal is to be a chaplain in the military. So Todd's training. He's working out with me. So I finally got him in. Todd Scarlett got out. So he's training 30 days a week too. Anyway, and he wants to go into the military. So we got him on a training program, and we're going to do that. And then I figure I might as well train with him. I'm 42, 43. I've applied to the Navy and the Space Force and Army. I'm looking at National Guard 6 times. They won't hire me yet, recruiter. But if I get to that point where I can run a half mile, and my career path may change. It just depends on what happens with my wife's family business. Because if we come back and then do freight, that's fine. Nothing to worry about there. We're gonna survive just fine. But I may have a calling in serving the public. I don't know. But I'm pretty happy about it, because I think we turned a guy who was struggling into what I am now, right? Yeah. If you look at it, if you look at the records, yeah, you can't deny the exponential improvement over the past 8 months. And I don't know what kind of person would prescribe that. I don't know what I've told you. What have I told you? What have I told you that, I don't know what you call that, that would indicate that my life would be better with an anxiety pill? And what pill are we talking about?
No, I think the medication I was thinking of is a medication called lorazepam or Latuda.
What's that? SSRI?
It's a newer generation antipsychotic that acts as a antidepressant.
An antipsychotic that answers that. So on paper, you get the best of both worlds. You go, I prescribed it. This guy is this, but on paper, it's an antipsychotic, so I can twist that on, anytime I want. But that's from my point of view.
It works more on dopamine than it does on directly on serotonin.
Interesting. What's hydroxyzine do?
It's
nothing. It's Benadryl, right?
It's related to Benadryl, yeah.
But what does it do?
It's a histamine blocker.
Histamine blocker. So short-term relief. That's it. These medications you're recommending, they take you want 2 or 3 weeks of using just to get going, and then you want to start managing behaviors after that.
No, you can manage the behaviors without medication.
I like that, and I think I'm doing well with that. So what kind of anxiety am I having that requires me to take an anxiety pill? That's my question.
Generalized.
I would agree with that. High levels or something. So yeah, but I'm not okay. Then how would it benefit me to knock the generalized level down? Because we are in agreement that there is an elevated general anxiety.
Might help with things at home with the wife. Help with dealing with things.
You got me a little there. Okay, so works. So tell me more about it.
It works to it increases your sensitivity to serotonin by working on dopamine receptors.
But doesn't touch them. But doesn't touch the serotonin side.
Yeah.
It hits the dopamine side, and then the serotonin side says, kind of like getting your glutes to fire again, teaching your body.
Yeah.
Wiring, because that's what I've been having to do is, build my core strength, and I have to rewire my brain some. And so you're right. I think there are some generalized anxiety wires in there that maybe if they were tapered down some, they'd be a little easier to correct. It's a possibility. So here's my proposal. I propose, and you tell me what the rules are on this. I propose you can do that, but I don't want to take them. I just want to tell my wife that, if she's displeased with my behavior, this is the plan. Then I'll start taking these pills for you, because I don't want to. I just want to have something in my sleeve where I can be normal, and then I want her to be safe and secure. And this is what's going to do that for her. And she wants me to have a good appointment, not fuss and argue with you and call you bad names, which I didn't do any of that stuff. So what do you think? You want to, and how does that look on paper? So yeah, you can write that up if you want. Low dose. I'm not going to take them, but I'm going to tell my wife
if you need to
that we have a plan, and we're going to monitor the behavior, and then if I agree, then I'll agree to take them at that time, and then I'll start, and then if I can follow up with you in because let's give it 6 weeks. So if I can be back in 6 to 8 weeks.
Sure.
See me in 6 to 8 weeks, and then hopefully I won't have to have taken those. And I would recommend for myself, Isabel's gone, she changed jobs or whatever. I would recommend for myself talk therapy once a month with a provider over webcam if I can find it. Because that gives me somebody to talk to, because I don't really have that outside of. I need that. I believe that I need that. I believe that talk therapy is effective for me once a month. Minimum. How do you feel about this?
I think it's a good plan.
Appointment. I feel better about it too. So yeah, pretty amazing stuff.
Well, she can get you set up.
I've been through a lot of trauma. Yeah, the hospital. The kids are a little grown now. But they're praying at night. We have a little routine, a little consistency, and then I get to, it's because I specialized in those kids when they were 5 and 6. When Todd and Alex were 5 and 6 is when I met them. So I'm everything under 5 and 6 is new to me, kind of. So, all right, Dr. Henderson.